Mesdames et messieurs, today we will be talking about the Patrie, the new French super battleship. And frankly, well, she's good. She is honestly a nice ship to play. Is she a good super ship? Well, it's kinda up to debate when considering the matchup she has to deal with. Like, let's just clear first the main problems of this ship. Firstly, she's just gigantic. She's the third biggest ship in the game, after the Hanover and the United States. And she is fully covered with 32mm of armor. It means that both the Satsuma and the Hanover, as well as everything that can overmatch 32mm, will be able to deal big chunks of damage on this ship. It is especially painful when talking about the Satsuma, since she gets the combat instruction that reduces her dispersion. And yeah, I had on multiple occasions Satsuma just nailing me while angled for, I don't know, 35 or 40k damage. So yeah, if you meet a Satsuma and the guy knows how to play, knows how to stay angled, etc, etc, you are up for a rough time. Other than that, well, she has been a pleasant experience. In terms of firepower, she uses the same guns as the Republic, so you get great ballistics, great AP penetrations, and also strong HE, just like most of the French ships. But compared to Republic, she doesn't get the great reload time. She only gets 30 seconds of reload instead of the 24 on Republic. And she also gets 1.8 Sigma instead of 2.0. But frankly, it's not the end of the world. Like, what she loses in number of salvos she can throw and consistency, well, she fully compensates it for the sheer alpha damage she can just bring out with the 12 guns she carries. Since it's 431mm guns, you are especially good at slapping cruisers. Well, except that's all because, yeah, on this one, the dispersion said no. But yeah, when the dispersion doesn't screw you over, which, I mean, it doesn't happen that often. You have the 12 guns and 1.8 Sigma is really decent. But yeah, otherwise, these guns, they just slap any cruiser giving you a broadside. Actually, anything giving broadside. And if you are stuck fighting a ship which just stays fully angled and you can't overmatch it, well, it's alright, because you have HE dealing strong damage, and the fire chance is also one of the best for that caliber range. I think among the 457, of course, there is the Thunder and the St. Vincent, which have better fire chance, and also the Kremlin, but not by much. So yeah, with the 12 guns, you are pretty good at starting fires when needed. Otherwise, well, I need to mention the secondaries. No, just no. Don't even think about it. The thing is that, unlike Republic, we are back to 100mm guns on the secondaries, or at least for the most part. You still have the 152 on the in the middle of the ship. But yes, as much as the 100mm are very fast reload, except for stuff like cruiser superstructure or British light cruisers, you won't pen anything. On top of that, as I was saying, the ship is very easy to farm with the 32mm armor plus a giant size. So yeah, avoid going in secondary range thinking, yeah, it's fine, I will just blast away with the secondaries and melt the enemy. That won't really happen. Generally speaking, you prefer to stay at medium range with this ship. Long range as well, since you have amazing penetration on those for 31. But otherwise, yeah, stay at medium distance, stay on the move, and you absolutely need to use the speed of the ship because, unlike the Republic, Patrie gets 15% speed boosts, and combined with Brisk, well, she ends up being a very nice flanker. I'm not even I actually didn't check the speed she can reach, but it's pretty close to 40 knots. So yeah, that's pretty easy for her to just get on the flank and then happily slap whatever broadside she'll be able to find. Now, on this game, there isn't that much resistance on this flank. There was the Hanover, but the guy just got molested. Like, we had... what is it? 6 ships shooting at him, plus the Shimakaze who died. So, yeah, it didn't last long. Which means that at this point I can just really push in. Especially since... like, the only big threat on my broadside would be the Yamato. And there are plenty of ships to take care of before I'm thinking about showing up on me, so yeah, I'm just going to fully W inside A. And considering that what is left is a Yoshino and a Zao, well, they won't really last long. Both ships have a 30mm middle section, and as much as they have fairly trollish citadel shape, well, I can just demolish them with pure penetrations. And that's just the great thing with the Patrie against cruisers. You will not really care about their angle. Of course, like, you still have stuff like the Russian cruisers with the 35, 40 or 50 millimeters of armor. But otherwise, yeah, cruisers, you are doing short work of them. As I was saying, as much as you lose the 2.0 Sigma that you had on Republic, well, it's not really a bad thing. You now have 12 guns instead of 8, and yeah, the sheer number of shells you throw at the enemy cruisers, it more than does the job. So as you can see, now we have our the rest of our ships slowly making their way in towards B, because the main force of the enemy team is stacked around C and D. So yeah, not much to worry about coming from my my left side. Meanwhile, here we will be able to illustrate perfectly what I was talking about with trollish citadel shape. This Yoshino is pretty much as broadside as you can get. But sadly... Yes, hello? My overpens? Thank you. And yeah, at this point I will kinda regret it, because I was hoping that my Nevsky would be able to bring down the Zao fairly quickly, considering that the guy is stuck on the border. But yeah, somehow that Zao will be able to live for quite some time now, and I'm actually the one who will need to finish him off. And that will actually... Well, that choice did cost me a fair amount of HP in the end, because the Zao could still get something like, I don't know, 3 or 4 salvos off. Yeah, especially when I get that kind of dispersion, like... Yeah. At times you will still get screwed, even with 12 guns, by the 1.8 Sigma. But whatever. At this point this flank is completely won, so... We can now just go towards C and D. And yeah, that game is just a wrap. So now I just need to talk, because I generally don't do it in my video reviews, it's always mentioned in my articles on the Daily Bounce. But yeah, we just need to talk about the way these ships, so the Patrie and the Edgar, will be available. So for 3 updates, aka at something like 3 months, both ships will only be available for the winners of an upcoming auction. So it will be 500 winners in total, so across all 4 servers. And the minimal bid will be of 100 million credits. Now, is it really worth spending such high amounts of credits? I'm not really sure, to be honest. If you are like me sitting on, well, I'm at what, 800 million or something, then sure, go ahead, but otherwise, well, you might want to save and wait for the ship to be available for the normal price in 3 updates. It will still be what was it? 45 million for a Superbattleship? Or is it even more? So yeah, I'm not quite sure if you want to burn that much resource on a single ship just because you can grab it in advance. Especially since, as a reminder, you will be facing basically all the time either Satsuma or Hanover. And if either of them decides to just focus you, you might not have the best experience in the world. Now, of course, if you can get through with that kind of issue, well, sure, go ahead. I mean, as I said, Patrie was definitely, as a whole, a very pleasant experience. I mean, it might be the French bias, I don't know. But I can't say that I hated this ship. One thing that I was ironically really pleased with Patrie is the fact that she doesn't have any alternative firing mode or how's it called, combat instruction. She's vanilla. She doesn't need any stupid gimmick or anything, though technically she had one at the start which was kinda useless. She's just a normal battleship without any sort of special damage burst or anything. It's all dependent on you playing the ship properly, and you don't have any funny button to push you up if you fuck up. So yeah, in the end, if you feel like burning more than 100 million credits, or you can just wait for the 3 updates to pass, Patrie, I would say go for it in randoms. She's worth. That's all for me. See you guys later.
La victoire est à notre portée.